there's nothing that I'm saying that's unfair to the library. I'm trying to be fair to all the interested parties, and all the different people who come before us every year to the Appropriations Committee and ask for money for the budget. And all I'm asking is for us to be fair and to be equitable and treat everybody who comes here prudently and fairly, and make the right decision. It's the taxpayers' money, and I just wanted everybody to be treated the same way. Thank you.
Just to clarify, it was by no means the first time the library's asked for more money. I think all the 10 years I've been in city government, they've asked for more funding every year, and their funding's been flat for basically a decade, which, if you adjust for inflation, is quite a pinch on the budget. And I believe they're mainly using the additional money for staff costs. They haven't been able to keep up with wages, and they're having trouble with retention, which makes it difficult to operate. I see heads nodding, so I'm getting it mostly right. I'm sure there's more color to that story, which we will hear about early in next year. And that's also why we're going to be doing a little bit more advanced budget planning next year, rather than doing the typical cadence where we wait till end of August, maybe September, and have workshops, and then we have to move right into budget approval. We're going to move some of that up on the calendar and get a jump on it throughout the year, so it's not such a crunch at the end of the year to put the whole document together. So, all good comments. Alderman Boucher.
So is there some way to reconcile all the comments here as far as how to go about our budget with?
We're just approving a budget.
With the itemization, though, for that amount, so that everyone feels comfortable going forward?
Administrator Jones looks like he has a comment.
Thank you, Mayor. What I might suggest for the council this evening is to approve the budget that is presented here and that has been prepared in accordance with direction received from the council in their role as the Appropriations Committee just over a month ago. And in recognizing the concerns that have been expressed regarding what the additional funding for the library will be used for in 2023, I might suggest that we schedule some time for the library and their staff to come before the Committee of the Whole at one of our upcoming meetings and outline what those funds will be used for in 2023. That will allow staff in our role as a disperser of funds to the library on a quarterly basis to continue to fund the library into the new year. We will be getting a request soon for the first quarter payment for 2023, and we can hold back on the $41,000 pending the council's concurrence and level of comfort with making sure that that money, which is included in the budget, can be dispersed by staff after consulting with the library. So, long story short, keep it in the budget, have a consultation with library staff either next month or into early 2023, get a little more detail on what that money is going to be used for, those additional funds are going to be used for, and then provide authorization to staff to include that in a future disbursements that would be made to the library as a matter of course.
I see a couple hands up. I'll go along with the administrator's suggestion. I think I would desire that to happen in December so that we can have it behind us and not delay any potential Q1 payments. Good. Anticipating a successful outcome of that meeting. Alderman Strelchuk.
The question is, do you need something in the motion for the approval of the budget to hold back those funds, as Administrator Jones suggested we could do? Or is
I don't
that
believe
just
you do. That's
sounds like standard protocol.
Setting a budget. The rest is process and procedure.
Okay. Just a brief statement. Everyone's had a chance to speak, and I'll be real brief with this. During the pandemic, I watched several different families struggle emotionally throughout the pandemic, and also growing up in the community, I've I've experienced a lot of different families that have used the library. The library was the one shining light during the pandemic where, you know, somebody came home and they're like, we got 200 books. I think they picked out 200 books. And the kids were busy reading when they didn't know what was going on with school, and you know, couldn't do their usual activities, and really couldn't stimulate their minds. I agree with anybody that backs the statement that the library is a very valuable resource to the community. I know that we've funded it to the appropriate levels. I disagree with the statement that we've underfunded. We've funded to the levels of which is required of us governmentally. Could more be done? Yes, probably. And it's something that I'm glad that we're scheduling some time to talk about really where those needs are and then what we can do as a community, and then we can vote as a committee. I'm just glad something's getting funded that needs funding with this budget. There's several things with parks that I've been asking for I think going on 10 years. My first year here, I asked for extra funding to parks, and I've got shot down just about every year since. With I think we put 20,000 in a couple years back or something like that. So I like the idea that we're going to revisit some of these things earlier on, maybe Q1, to talk about really where we want to start funding things. You know, I was being the squeaky wheel and joking around in finance and personnel. You know, people have been asking about pickleball courts. How soon can we build those? I know Lemke's a priority under one of the things that we're voting on today, and so is the brush site and things like that. As long as we're working on the backlog of things that we need to tick off our list that have not been funded for years, I'm glad to see that this is one of the items that's being included. And I think, you know, unfortunately in my absence, I couldn't make the Appropriations Committee meeting. You guys did an excellent job with the budget, and I'm really pleased and grateful for the things that you have added back in. So I plan to vote in favor of what's before us tonight, given the discussion that we've had tonight.
Alderman Parrish.
Confident that presentation will have plenty of things that they'll use with the money, so I'm not worried about that. I just wanted to ask if you could add in just an overview of how you'll deploy the ARPA funds, since we are in your presentation. When they give the presentation, can you just give an overview of how the ARPA funds will also be deployed, just so the public knows how you're using it? You have great uses for it all, I'm sure. Thank you.
Any additional comments or questions? Or is there a motion?
Move approval of the budget. Second.
Motion and a second. Any further comments or questions? If not, please call the roll.
Alderman Bushy.
Aye.
Alderman Meyer.
Aye.
Alderman Hancher.
Aye.
Alderman Garrow.
Because we didn't fund anything else in the past, and this is done unvetted, I'm going to vote no.
Alderman Parrish.
Aye.
Alderman Schneider.
Aye.
Alderman Strelchuk.
Aye.
6-2.
6-2. No, my vacancy counting is one of the two naysayers. Okay. The budget is passed for 2023. Next up, we have personal appearances and public comment. Citizens wishing to address the council on any matter not on the agenda may do so at this time. If you desire to be heard on agenda items, you may be heard when those items are considered on the agenda. Please speak into the microphone at the podium. Time limit is 5 minutes. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak on anything not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on to public officials reports, and I have several this evening. Give me a second to collect myself here. First, Veterans Day is coming up this Friday, November 11th. There'll be a celebration of the importance of that day from 11 to 2 at the Howard Schrader Legion Hall, just a little bit of ways here from City Hall. Speakers will include myself and Alderman Parrish. So if you can make it, come celebrate our veterans. They certainly deserve our thanks and gratitude on that day and every day. Also coming up, we have Winter Wonderland coming up on December 11th from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. right along Cedarburg Road in front of City Hall here. There'll be lots of activities, ornament making, cookie decorating, wagon rides, gingerbread, bounce house, photos with Santa, and Judah and the Maccabee. So regardless of your religion, there's opportunities for all of us to enjoy community and have a little fun right here in front of City Hall. There'll be food and beverages, and holiday music will be provided by the MTSD Orchestra and choirs. So I hope to see you there. Also coming up this holiday season, a little sooner than that, I'd like to remind everyone that Saturday, November 26th is Small Business Saturday. There's always a lot of media hype surrounding Black Friday, which precedes Small Business Saturday by one day. But that's for the larger national corporate retailers, and our locally owned and operated small businesses could really use our support, especially in an economic climate such as this. So as we head towards the holiday gift buying season, please shop local, shop small, and help out those local small businesses. They're also some of the biggest contributors to charities locally and are really integral to our community. So let's all help them out this holiday season. Again, shop small, shop local, this Saturday, on Saturday, November 26th, and throughout the holiday season. That's all I've got. Administrator Jones?
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Just a couple of quick updates here this evening on items that have previously or recently been before the Common Council. First off, I'm happy to report, as was included in the weekly bulletin last week, that Ozaukee County has approved the three-party agreement between the Southern Ozaukee Fire Department, the City of Mequon, and Ozaukee County for the transfer of dispatch services effective January 1st of next year. So we have all of the approvals needed to move dispatch to Ozaukee County at the beginning of next year. I'm also happy to report that efforts are ongoing to ensure that all of the city's current dispatchers will have jobs going forward into the new year. Several will be remaining with the city in the revised administrative clerk positions that are included in the budget, and a couple will be moving up to Ozaukee County to help them with the increased staffing needs that are necessitated by the transfer. So good news on that front. And then there's a special election for Aldermanic District 8 that'll be coming up on Tuesday, January 10th of early 2023. This will be for a term that's ending in April of 2024, and nomination papers are currently available in the city clerk's office. Nomination papers require 20 to 4 signatures in order to be eligible to run for this seat. Nomination materials are due in the city clerk's office by 5 o'clock next week on November 15th, and if there are more than 2 candidates that file to run for this vacancy, a primary election will be held on Tuesday, December 13th of this year. So about a month from now, if we get more than 2 candidates for the District 8 vacancy. And then lastly, I was going to give a sneak preview on our Committee of the Whole agenda for next week, but I think I've kind of been trumped by the discussion we just had a few moments ago. It sounds like the library staff will be here to talk a little bit more about their budgetary needs. Additionally, we're planning to bring forth a presentation on the compensation analysis that has been going forward throughout the better part of this year through our consultant GovHR. And then the Public Works staff was looking to bring forward a status update on the design process for the Lemke Park Pavilion project. As you'll recall, Council approved a contract in late 2021 for the design of that facility. It's been some time since that's been before this board, and so we thought it would be a good idea to bring back the architect's work and to get a check-in with the council next month. So we'll figure out how to schedule all of this on the agenda. If something has to lay over until January, we'll make sure we're respectful of everyone's time. Thank you.
Thank you, Administrator Jones. Next, we've got the consent agenda. We've got 12 sets of various meeting minutes from boards and commissions. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those meeting minutes are approved. Next, we have ordinance first readings. These ordinances will not be acted upon tonight unless there's a suspension of the rules, and that is would need to be approved by a 2/3 majority. First, we have ordinance 2022-1633, an ordinance amending Chapter 58 of the Mequon Municipal Code establishing banquet facilities as conditional uses in the B2 Town Center and Arrival Corridor zoning districts, and conference centers as conditional uses in the B2, B4, Uleo Creek mixed-use zoning districts. This was recommended by the Planning Commission on October 17th. It is a first reading. Next, we have ordinance 2022-1634, an ordinance approving revenue and expenditure amendments to the city's general fund operating budget for fiscal year 2022. This was recommended earlier this evening by Finance and Personnel, and it is a first reading, but we are interested if anyone's looking to suspend the rules and approve this tonight, as doing such would greatly help our finance department get through the rest of the budget season, so it doesn't all pile up on them in December, which is already a short month.
Make a motion to suspend the rules.
Second. Motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye when your name is called.
Alderman Meyer,
Aye.
Alderman Hancher,
Aye.
Alderman Garrow,
Aye.
Alderman Parrish,
Aye.
Alderman Schneider,
Aye.
Alderman Strelchak,
Aye.
Alderman Bushy.
Okay, we have suspended the rules and can now take up this item. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Can this be a regular vote?
No, you want to do a roll call on this?
Okay, let's do a roll call on this. We have a motion and a second. Any further comments or questions? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Alderman Hancher,
Aye.
Alderman Garrow,
Aye.
Alderman Parrish,
Aye.
Alderman Schneider,
Aye.
Alderman Strelchak,
Aye.
Alderman Bushy,
Aye.
and Alderman Meyer.
Aye.
And that ordinance is approved. Next up, we have ordinance 2022-1635, an ordinance amending Chapter 10 of the Mequon Municipal Code, specifically Section 1055 Prin A of the Building Code related to survey requirements for building permits. There's a recommendation forthcoming from Public Welfare this evening.
Public Welfare approved this tonight's meeting, at this evening's meeting. I'd also like to make a motion to suspend the rules and take this up.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor of suspending the rules, please say aye when your name is called.
Alderman Garrow,
Aye.
Alderman Parrish,
Aye.
Alderman Schneider,
Aye.
Alderman Strelchak,
Aye.
Alderman Bushy,
Aye.
Alderman Meyer,
Aye.
Alderman Hatcher.
Aye.
All right, we are able to take this matter up. Is there a motion formally? Oh, City Attorney.
Just one small point of clarification. The recommendation from Public Welfare did include one minor amendment. If you look at the proposed ordinance on page 99 of the packet, you'll see that within the kind of introductory paragraph of that section, there's a reference to a new survey. That reference to new survey would be deleted by just deleting the word new. The purpose of that is just to clarify the ordinance as a whole so it reads better.
Thank you for that clarification.
And I guess we have to make a clarification on the motion, that the motion to approve with that amendment on it.
Second.
Motion and a second with that small but important amendment. Is there we have a motion and a second. Is there any further question or comment? Alderwoman Schneider.
I just wanted to thank staff for bringing this to the Public Welfare Committee's attention, because I think that this is really going to be helpful for community members. It will not require them to have a new survey done necessarily if one has been done previously. And previously, if one had been done a year early, more than a year earlier, they had to redo the whole thing, which is expensive and holds up the progress. So it was a great thing to bring forward. And I just wanted to thank them for paying attention to these details that make everyone's life easier.
That's a good point to highlight. This is a very pointed attempt to at least do something small to help improve customer service and to keep things moving especially for smaller projects that don't necessarily need as much oversight or scrutiny from staff. This will help speed things up and make the user experience at City Hall a little better. So yeah, all good stuff. Thank you for that point. All right, any other comments or questions? If not, please call the roll.
Alderman Parrish.
Aye.
Alderman Schneider.
Aye.
Alderman Stralchuk.
Aye.
Alderman Bushy.
Aye.
Alderman Meyer.
Aye.
Alderman Hancher.
Aye.
And Alderman Garrow.
Aye.
That ordinance passes as well. Fantastic. Next, we have ordinance 2022-1632, an ordinance appropriating necessary funds from the City of Mequon's Sewer Utility District for the year 2023 for capital charge payments to MMSD and City of Mequon capital debt service requirements. This was recommended earlier this evening by the Sewer Utility District. It is a first reading, but we are also looking for a suspension of the rules so we can get this on people's tax bills in time.
Move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye when your name is called.
Alderman Schneider.
Aye.
Alderman Stralchuk.
Aye.
Alderman Bushy.
Aye.
Alderman Meyer.
Aye.
Alderman Hancher.
Aye.
Alderman Garrow.
Aye.
Alderman Parrish.
Okay, the rules are officially suspended. Is there a motion to approve this ordinance?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further comments or questions? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Alderman Stralchuk.
Aye.
Alderman Bushy.
Aye.
Alderman Meyer.
Aye.
Alderman Hancher.
Aye.
Alderman Garrow.
Aye.
Alderman Parrish. Alderman Schneider.
Aye.
And we have a sewer budget. Fantastic. Now on to regular ordinances, transitioning seamlessly into that topic. Except we won't have the suspended rules for this time. Ordinance 2022-1630, an ordinance amending Section 2-216 of the Mequon Municipal Code, increasing the annual carryover limit for paid time off amongst non-represented employees from 40 hours to 80 hours. Recommended by the Finance Personnel Committee on October 11th. First reading at Common Council last month on October 11th. Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further comments or questions? Seeing none. Okay, another roll call? Okay. Please indicate your desire to approve or reject when your name is called.
Alderman Bushy.
Aye.
Alderman Meyer.
Aye.
Alderman Hancher.
Aye.
Alderman Garrow.
Aye.
Alderman Parrish.
Aye.
Alderman Schneider.
Aye.
And Alderman Stralchuk.
Aye.
And that ordinance passes as well. On to resolutions. Resolution 3992, a resolution approving the fiscal year 2023 Southern Ozaki Fire and Emergency Medical Services Department operating and capital budgets. This is recommended by the Appropriations Committee on October 6th.
Move approval.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further comments or questions? Hearing none. Is this you need a roll call for this?
No,
too?
it's not our budget. We're just blessing something that somebody else did. So
Fantastic. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that resolution passes. Resolution 3993, a resolution designating the allocation of $2.55 million in proceeds received by the City of Mequon from the American Rescue Plan Act. This was recommended earlier this evening by the Finance and Personnel Committee. Is there a motion or any questions?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further comments or questions? We've talked about this quite a bit over the past year. We're, just so the public knows, we're not spending these funds. We're documenting our plan formally on what we intend to do with them. And most of the expenditures, all of them in fact, above $25,000 will come back before this body as we execute those plans. This is just a step to formally document what we intend to do. If we need to change the plan along the way, we can. But this is just signaling how we intend to spend the funds, so we have a record of what we're doing. Administrator Jones.
And if I may, Mayor, to give staff the green light to move forward on pursuing some of these projects. So, for instance, the land management system, the Lemke Park Pavilion, the brush site. This gives staff the ability to go forward and start working on the information necessary for the council to approve and expend the funds.
Thank you. We had a motion in a second. Okay. Any further comments or questions? Talked so long I forgot we had a motion in second. Yeah. If there are no other comments, please call the roll.
Alderman Meyer,
Aye.
Alderman Hancher,
Aye.
Alderman Garrow,
Aye.
Alderman Parrish,
Aye.
Alderman Schneider,
Aye.
Alderman Strelchak,
Aye.
Alderman Bushy.
And that resolution passes. Resolution 3994, a resolution adopting the 2023 compensation plan for non-represented employees. This was also recommended earlier this evening by Finance and Personnel. Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Motion and another second.
I'll second
Seconded
it.
by Alderman Strelchak. Are there any comments or questions? Seeing none, please also call the roll on this item.
Alderman Hancher,
Aye.
Alderman Garrow,
Aye.
Alderman Parrish,
Aye.
Alderman Schneider,
Aye.
Alderman Strelchak,
Aye.
Alderman Bushy,
Aye.
Alderman Meyer.
Aye.
And that resolution passes. On to Resolution 3995, a resolution approving an engagement letter for the provision of labor and employment legal services with Von Briesen and Roper of Madison, Wisconsin during the period from January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2024. This was recommended earlier this evening by Finance and Personnel.
Move to approve resolution 3995.
Second. Motion and a second from Alderman Boucher. Any further comments or questions? Hearing or seeing none, please also call the roll on this item.
Alderman Garrow,
Aye.
Alderman Parrish,
Aye.
Alderman Schneider,
Aye.
Alderman Strelchak,
Aye.
Alderman Bushy,
Aye.
Alderman Meyer,
Aye.
Alderman Hancher.
Aye.
And that resolution passes. On to Resolution 3996, resolution authorizing the execution of the 15th amended agreement for operation of the Mid-Moraine Municipal Court through April 30th of 2051. This was also recommended earlier this evening by Finance and Personnel. Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Motion in a second. Any comments or questions? There's just a couple of extra communities coming into the Mid-Moraine court system with us, so we'll spread out our costs a little bit, maybe enjoy a little bit of savings, hopefully. Other than that, everything remains unchanged. Seeing no additional questions, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that resolution carries. Resolution 3997, a resolution approving an agreement for municipal prosecution services with Hausman and Find, got that wrong even though I intended to get it right, Hausman and Find of Grafton, Wisconsin for the period from December 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2024. This was recommended earlier this evening by Finance and Personnel. Is there a motion?
Move approval. Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments? Questions? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Alderman Parrish,
Aye.
Alderman Schneider,
Aye.
Alderman Strelchak,
Aye.
Alderman Bushy,
Aye.
Alderman Meyer,
Aye.
Alderman Hancher,
Aye.
Alderman Garrow.
That resolution passes. Finally, or not finally, second to last here, we have Resolution 3991, a resolution adopting the fiscal year 2023 sanitary sewer utility budget and establishing the 2023 sanitary sewer user fee schedule. This is recommended by the Sewer Utility District Commission on October 27th. Are there any questions?
Move approval.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Second. Any additional comments or questions? Hearing or seeing none, please call the roll.
Alderman Schneider,
Aye.
Alderman Strelchak,
Aye.
Alderman Bushy,
Aye.
Alderman Meyer,
Aye.
Alderman Hancher,
Aye.
Alderman Garrow,
Aye.
Alderman Parrish.
That resolution passes as well. Finally, tonight we have Resolution 3998, a resolution rejecting the bids for a backup pumping system at Lift Station E on Ranch Road. This was recommended to be rejected earlier this evening by the Sewer Utility District Commission. Is there a
You
motion?
can make a motion to reject the bids as shown.
Second.
Motion and a second to reject the bids. Any further discussion? All those in favor of rejecting the bids, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, those bids are rejected formally. We have no unfinished business from prior meetings, no specified new business. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn. Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.